Everyone is familiar with everyday laws that most of us obey. These can be your everyday things from speeding to just general behavior towards each other, and of course not robbing banks. But aside from these well-known laws, there are some laws so bizarre that you'll wonder what happened that the law needed to be passed in the first place. Check out these 15 bizarre laws from around the world. Hiking naked in Switzerland. It's fun to think that there is actually a law like this in place for a reason. And one guy found out the hard way that you just can't go strolling around wearing anything but your birthday suit past a family who were actually on a picnic at the time. You have to think for a moment just how bizarre it would be to be on a picnic when someone uninvited, completely naked, suddenly strolls by. The man was fined for his little parade but put up a fight and fought the ticket and the fine of over $100, claiming that there is no law against public nudity in Switzerland. However, he was surprised to find out that there was indeed a law that prohibits being nude while hiking. Apparently, there has been a need to ban this activity, but originally was only banned in Appenzell, not the whole of Switzerland. Stepping on money in Thailand is illegal. Here is a strange law that could land you in some trouble if you don't know about it. Although it might not be one that you will have any difficulty avoiding if there is some Thai money laying on the ground, or you've happened to drop some money on the ground and use your foot to keep it from blowing away. Then you might have a real problem if someone sees this, especially Thai police. It's unknown how long this law has been in effect, but it's certainly a show of honor and respect to whoever might be depicted on the money in the first place. The reason for is because the Thai baht depicts the royal family, head of state, who is very revered in Thai culture. For Thai culture, the underside of a foot presented to anyone is considered offensive. It is also illegal to criticize the king or president or his photo on the money, paper, or coin. It's not known what the fine or punishment for this crime is. Illegal to be fat in Japan. No one tell Weird Al Yankovich, but if you are in Japan and you are fat, then you could be in trouble. Although the fine or the consequences of being too fat are unknown, Japan decided it was time to ban being obese. If you are a woman, then you can have a maximum waistline of 90 centimeters or 35 inches for a woman. If you are a man, then you have a limit of 85 centimeters or about 33.5 inches. Chewing gum is illegal in Singapore. If you like to chew bubblegum or you just enjoy having a stick of mint gum to freshen your breath, you better not do this in Singapore. Actually, it's not known if tourists can get away with this weird law or not. However, go to some market and look for some gum, and you won't find it. Apparently, cleaning up the massive amounts of chewing gum was too much, and a law had to be put in place to stop the problem of gum stuck to walls, tables, chairs, and all over the street. There is a law that says if you can prove chewing gum is therapeutic, then you are allowed to have it. Owning too many potatoes illegal in Western Australia. If you lived in a communist country, you would expect to find some strange laws about what kinds of foods you are allowed to have and how much. However, if you lived in Australia, you might find it bizarre. It is actually illegal to own more than 110 pounds of potatoes at one time. The law comes from limiting imports, and smuggling potatoes can be some sort of crime. Flushing toilet in Switzerland. Some laws are hard to believe and some laws are understandable. And then there are the ones that are right in the middle. In another strange Switzerland law, it is illegal to flush your toilet after 10 p.m. This is of course assuming you live in an apartment building. The law was put into place because there must have been too many complaints about the sound of your neighbor's toilet being flushed in the middle of the night. So a law was just put into place, making it illegal. Feeding pigeons. Here is a law that sounds downright silly until you really understand why it became a law in the first place. In the sunny city of San Francisco, the feeding of pigeons has been made completely illegal. Pigeons aren't very bright creatures to begin with. They can be seen only doing one of two things: that silly mating dance or pecking on the ground for tiny grains of food they can actually swallow. Throw one tiny piece of bread and it will peck at that for an hour before realizing it could just eat the whole thing if it wanted to. But despite their intelligence, they become incredibly ferocious for a bird and have been known to attack people in a feeding frenzy. There is one other thing these rats of the sky do after eating. Yep, you guessed it. And no one likes to clean up all that mess. If you are in San Francisco, don't feed the pigeons. Forgetting your wife's birthday. Many of you are saying that this is a no-brainer, and we all know we are in trouble if we forget our wife's birthday. But did you know that somewhere there is actually a law against this forgetfulness? This place is known as Samoa, and for some reason, it was made a law. You need to keep in mind that it was probably some legislator whose husband forgot her birthday, in which case this would also mean that he forgot to get her a gift as well. It's not known what the penalty is for this crime, but most of us already understand that some punishment is coming if we do this, bizarre law or not. Whaling banned in Oklahoma. There are probably a lot of you who don't live in the United States and aren't probably familiar with the different states. Whaling is banned in many places around the world due to declining whale populations and the fact many are endangered. This is a great idea and might seem fantastic for Oklahoma, except for one small problem. The state of Oklahoma is landlocked, meaning there are no bodies of water around the state anywhere. This is one of those laws that defies all the odds. There still may be some legitimate reason for this, but for now, we don't think many people are breaking this law. In Baltimore, Maryland, it's illegal to bring a lion to the movies. This has to fall into that category of someone had to actually do this for it to become illegal. It's probably not nice to take a lion to the movies, as no one would be entertained except maybe you. Lions don't watch movies, but would probably not mind hitting the snack bar for the people who are running the place. But would probably not mind hitting the snack bar for the people who are running the place. But just remember that if you are in Baltimore, Maryland, it is against the law to take a lion to the movies for many other obvious reasons. Old mail. This law will probably be a surprise to many. Since 1986, the U.S. Postal Service and any U.S. authorities get legal access to any mail that is 180 days old. And they don't need a warrant to open whatever mail that is, be it a letter or even a package. The law was likely put into place because old mail that was unclaimed might give clues to a missing person or some other type of crime. No minimum marriage age. In many countries in the world, there are laws in place that require a person to be an adult before marriage, which is proper in more ways than one, besides the fact that little children shouldn't be married. However, in Saudi Arabia, there is no minimum age for marriage. This means that for whatever odd reasons, that a man can pick anyone they want to marry, even if it is a small child, as in a 2008 Saudi court case where an 8-year-old girl was denied a divorce from her 58-year-old husband. Quite an age difference there. Wife-beating law. We'd like to take this time to remind everyone that we aren't responsible for any damages arising out of the view of our videos. And while we would never advocate any violence, in Arkansas there is an old law hanging around on the books from the 1800s. The law states that a husband is allowed to beat his wife. However, this can only occur once a month. Walk your dog. In some countries, you have to keep your dogs on a leash when you walk them, and you have to make sure to clean up after them. But there is no law that says you have to walk your dog unless you live in Turin, Italy. In fact, the law states that if you own a dog, you must take the dog for a walk 3 times a day. It's actually quite a good law. This way, both the animal and the human companion get exercise. Changing a light bulb. Everyone knows how to change a light bulb. Granted that back in the late 1800s to early 1900s, it might have been a real chore. But when a light goes out, anyone can change a light bulb. That is, unless you live in Victoria, Australia. There, it is illegal to replace a burned-out light bulb unless you are a licensed electrician. We hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know which of these laws you thought was the most bizarre. And if you liked the video, then give the subscribe button a gentle click and it will respond by letting you know we released a new video. We appreciate you and want to thank you for watching Interesting Facts.